So you want to heal your acne naturally, right? You've been trying, but you feel like you are making mistakes. I help people heal their acne naturally, and I'm gonna tell you the 7 main mistakes I see with natural acne healing and what you should do instead. Let go. Hi there, my name is Therese, and I struggled with acne for over 15 years before I finally cleared my skin naturally. I created my acne clearing program, The Clear Code, to help you do the same. 9 years and thousands of clients later, I've made it my life's work to get you clear skin without harsh chemicals, pills, and or creams. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video. I'm gonna jump right into the mistakes because you are annoyed. The biggest mistake I see with clients, number one mistake, is that they incorrectly identify their root acne triggers. This is such a common mistake. I'd say 90% of people, if not 100. And it's okay. You shouldn't know why you're breaking out if you work in marketing, or if you train horses, or if you own a preschool, right? Like, when natural acne healing, nutritional healing, dietary healing, dermatology is not your profession, it's not your life's work, feeling like you have to figure it out on your own, feeling like you should be able to figure it out, is number one, like, too much pressure for yourself, and number two, it's only gonna lead you down the path to despair, because all you're gonna feel is like, I can't figure this out and I'm a failure, which is not true. I help people heal their acne naturally with food, obviously, and it took me like 5 years to become really good and a decade to become a master and an expert. A decade. So if you're here and you're like, I really want to heal my acne naturally, I just can't figure out why I'm breaking out, please know that that's a common challenge. I have a root acne triggers webinar you can check out via the link below, where I go over the 7 common root acne triggers, number one, and number two, 9 action steps you can take to start to heal your acne naturally. But this is a super common mistake I see. People Google until their eyes fall out of their heads. They're like, you know what? I think it's a topical issue. They'll change up all their topical products. 2 to 3 weeks later, their skin isn't better at all. And all they can think is, well, that didn't really work. And so screw that. And then they'll go back and they'll try to change things again. And it's this like never ending cycle, right? You're like on this constant up and down of thinking you finally found the thing. And then 3 weeks later, you haven't, you crash and burn on the couch and you're like, screw this. And then the whole cycle repeats, usually about every 4 weeks. You're not alone if that's you. Number two big acne clearing mistake I see is crash diets, essentially. And that kind of links back to what I just said. But deciding you're not gonna touch sugar, gluten, dairy, all the things, it's only gonna set you up for restriction, food fear, not knowing what's happening really because you're so like hyper-focused on, unfortunately, the wrong things, and you're just gonna feel bad, right? Variety is actually the spice of life when it comes to natural acne healing as it relates to food. You want a variety of fruits and vegetables and foods and different types of fats and proteins and carbohydrates. And so the more you are super restrictive and like kind of switch from crash restrictive diet to crash restrictive diet, the worse things get. Which leads me to number 3, which is people deciding on a really unsustainable acne clearing plan that is not based on the root acne triggers. So it's like kind of mistake number 1 and mistake number 2 combined. So they'll decide on a plan like, I'm gonna remove sugar, gluten, dairy, all the things. And number 1, it's not based on the right acne triggers. And number 2, it's not sustainable. So you have best friends, for example, you have a partner in your life, you have little kids in your life. They all have birthday parties, bachelorette parties, they have weddings. You don't wanna go and like stand in the corner while everyone eats a delicious cake and has like a glass of champagne. You wanna enjoy yourself and have a donut and have some champers at the toast on New Year's, right? If that's what you want. And this is a big mistake I see, is that people define a plan that's gonna clear their acne, but it's not even sustainable. So let's say, this rarely works, but let's say it did. Let's say you removed all gluten, sugar, dairy. It's another common thing. Well, let's stick with those 3. Gluten, sugar, and dairy for 30 days, and your skin did clear. Then what do? You're really eating just like salmon and blueberries, and that's miserable. And I can guarantee you that all 3 of those things, I can actually guarantee you that. Yeah, I can guarantee you that all 3 of those things aren't actually contributing to your acne challenges. There's actually probably one of them that's like a big contributing factor, but it's usually based on blood sugar management issues, gut health issues, or hormonal imbalances, not just like, oh, I had dairy and now I'm broken out. It's more like, oh, there's a gut dysbiosis issue at the core. So we need to diversify the gut bacteria. We need to make sure you aren't constipated anymore, so you're going to the bathroom more routinely. And then as a result of all those things, you'll be able to better absorb nutrients. So zinc, vitamin A, B vitamins, magnesium. And then as a result of that, you'll be able to eat gluten without issues. Gluten can sometimes be like the straw that breaks the camel's back, along with sugar stuff too. So knowing that whatever plan you decide on isn't sustainable is a big natural acne clearing mistake that I see. And just being really restrictive and deciding on a plan that you can't maintain long term, it's just gonna set you up for disappointment and frustration. The fourth acne mistake that I see is that people will decide on an action plan from a topicals perspective, and either they change things up too quickly or the plan is so intense and has too many products. I talk about this a few times on my channel. I have a few different skincare videos. It's not like my main focus because I help people heal acne nutritionally, and I'll share my skincare video here, but you really need a simple skincare routine to clear your acne. You don't need a bunch of serums, definitely don't need a bunch of acids. You saw what I just did there. You don't need a scrub. You don't need a bunch of different things. You need a really gentle cleanser. So in terms of like an ideal skincare schedule, it's super simple. In the morning, water wash. I know. Your brain exploded. You don't need to wash your face in the morning. I do not wash my face. I have not washed my face in the morning for a decade. I just water wash. Then I'll apply moisturizer/sunscreen and I'll go. Granted, I don't have acne now. So if, let's say you do have current active breakouts, you can apply like a spots treatment, then moisturizer, sunscreen. Then at night, a gentle cleanser to take off your makeup. Gentle moisturizer, simple, no fragrances, no perfumes. And then a really easy like benzoyl peroxide, salicylic acid type of spot treatment. Maybe some type of vitamin A product and maybe some type of acid product to help with exfoliation and skin cell turnover. But that's person to person, that's it. That's like 4 products that I just mentioned. You don't need a 7-step skincare routine. And you also need to be really careful that like when you're looking up skincare routines, look up someone's, like let's say you find someone who says, oh, I have a really great skincare routine for my acne, and you're interested in that skincare routine. Make sure that they have your same age, around your age within 5 to 7 years. They have the same skin type, same skin tone, and same skin sensitivities. Like what works best for me is not gonna work for someone with a completely different tone, completely different skin sensitivities, and someone who's 20 years older or 20 years younger even. So you have to be really specific and targeted with your skincare routine. Make it simple and don't change it up too much. If you're changing your skincare routine more than, I'm trying to think, every 8 weeks, you're not even able to see if what you've decided on is actually gonna work, if that makes sense. So my point is, if you pick a topical routine, stick with it for 8 weeks. Again, within reason. If you notice that your skin really reacts, and I'm not a dermatologist, so always check with them, then obviously it might not be the best thing for you, but if you're like cycling through products every 2 to 3 weeks, it's really hard for you to know what's gonna work or what's not. The 5th mistake I see with natural acne healing is that people find something that's outside of themselves. So like spironolactone, the birth control pill, Accutane, all of these kind of things that they don't have control over, that they can't use forever. A lot of clients come to me having just come off the birth control pill because they're considering making a baby, you know what I'm saying? And they're really worried about their skin, and they're really worried about the hormonal shifts that are gonna happen right after the pill, when they first get pregnant, and then even after, right? Because there's this whole now new world around managing skin without the birth control pill. And so really understanding why you're breaking out in the first place, which is why that Root Acne Triggers webinar can be really helpful for you, is key. Because when you define that, you become far less dependent on those external like pills, creams, hormones, things that you don't want to even use forever because you don't like the side effects, and you're more capable of just keeping your skin clear from a nutritional herbal perspective. And even just like topically, you have things really simplified and clear. And so that kind of dependence on an external pill or kind of pharmaceutical thing that you can't take forever is a common challenge that I see with acne healing in general. The 6th mistake that I see with natural acne healing is that people often think there is one pill, one blood test, one cream, one supplement that's gonna fix it all. I used to feel like this too. I used to feel like, just tell me what blood test to take and I will clear my skin because I'll take the blood test and then I'll be cool. And there's no one thing that works like that. There's no, because there never will be either. Because acne is a multifaceted and multifactorial issue. There are 4 main reasons you're breaking out at your pore level. You have too many skin cells, too much oil, skin cells don't slough off the way they should, and P. acnes, a bacteria, gets into this pore, gets into this crowded, oily pore, and it causes a breakout. And so there are so many different factors that lead to those conditions at your pore. And a lot of the topicals or even like pharmaceutical options address one issue. So like vitamin A, retinol, tretinoin products will address the skin cells not sloughing off the way they should. So they'll increase skin cell turnover. Or the birth control pill can target lowering of sebum levels by lowering testosterone levels, right? And unfortunately, none of those one pill, one hit wonder things addresses the full picture of natural acne healing, which is addressing why you have too many skin cells at the pore, why is there so much oil being produced, how to get your skin cells to slough off in a really kind of routine, comfortable, not dramatic way, right? So when you purge with something like tretinoin or retin A, that's because it's really increased skin cell turnover. You want skin cell turnover to be happening naturally week over week in a really routine, calm, consistent way. You don't want things to be kind of really exploding for you every 3 to 6 months when you go on or off those products. The 7th mistake I see with people trying to heal their acne naturally, it's very specific, is that they'll do some type of intermittent fasting. I generally think that intermittent fasting can be okay as a thing to help therapeutic things, right? There's definitely been studies done on fasting and how it can impact autophagy and all these different things. But from an acne perspective, I'd say the majority of my clients that come to me are already dealing with some type of impaired blood glucose and or insulin issues. So they're having this kind of up and down spike of blood sugar throughout the day, which is leading to too much insulin in their system, which is leading them to too much insulin growth factor 1, which equals too many skin cells at the pore, which is that first condition at the pore that I just talked about that can lead to acne. Or maybe they're a little hypoglycemic, so they're not eating enough sugar to support themselves. So then what's happening is they're crashing from an energy perspective. That really negatively impacts your adrenals. And then they're having to kind of spike themselves up with something like candy at certain points throughout the day. And so when you start to natural acne heal, right? When you want to start any type of nutritional therapy from an acne perspective, the worst thing you can do is add more stress to the blood glucose stuff that's already happening. The worst thing you can do is go 16, 18 hours a day without eating any sugar and then being so hungry, so low on energy that you just have 25 pancakes and 42 Sour Patch Kids, because that's what I would eat. Usually, generally speaking, I like intermittent fasting, but not for natural acne clearing. So when someone comes to me and they said, I'm trying to heal my acne naturally via intermittent fasting, I already know that we're probably dealing with some blood sugar management stuff. And the most important and helpful thing you can do from an acne perspective, as it relates to blood sugar, is to have a really measured, normal, consistent schedule of healthy fats, proteins, and complex carbs 3 to 6 times a day, depending on your weight goals, your activity levels, and to keep things really balanced and routine. You don't want to spike and fall your blood sugar levels. That's only gonna create more of the problem they're already struggling with. So those are just a few of the mistakes that I see with natural acne healing and acne healing in general after a decade of work with clients. And if you see yourself in any of those mistakes / all of them, and you really just want someone to help you with natural acne healing, I would love to see if we could help you in my natural acne clearing program, The Clear Code. You could apply to that via the link below. We identify your root acne triggers. We get really clear on why you're breaking out in the first place. And then we define action steps to start to heal your acne naturally. And we follow those strategically until your skin is clear, and we create your Clear Code, which becomes your clear skin lifestyle plan, really designed to keep your skin clear beyond the program so that you can be on an island somewhere in Greece and your skin is glowing and beautiful, and you know exactly what you've done to get yourself there, and you know exactly what to eat, how to drink, how to support yourself to keep your skin clear while you're on vacation, while you're in a really busy time at work, anything. So if you're interested in learning more, apply to that program via the link below. And if you know anyone who's struggling with their skin and they want extra support, they know there's a deeper root issue happening with them and their acne, send them this video. I would love to see if I could be the spark that supports their natural acne healing journey and really kind of starts them on a new path to heal acne naturally instead of with something they don't want to use. See you in the next video.